Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to my channel. I am Missy Renee, and on this channel we talk about manifesting. All things manifesting. How to do it, how to properly apply it, so that you can live the life that you've always dreamed of. So in this video, I'm going to go into the 3 fundamentals of manifesting. And this is obviously going to be the foundation, because in order to deliberately manifest, you need to be in a certain state of consciousness. And I'm going to go into detail in this video about how to get into that state of consciousness that will allow you to deliberately manifest whatever it is that you want. So the purpose of these 3 steps is to bring about what Neville referred to as a rebirth, or a radical change in the psychological self. And this is necessary to do because your state of consciousness is what is going to deliberately create your reality. What you are assuming and believing and reacting to will manifest in your 3D world. So think of it as a precursor before getting into the techniques and the tips, because you can be applying all of the techniques, you can be doing all of the tips that you learn, but if you are not in the proper state or mindset, you're going to have issues over and over again deliberately creating what you want. This can also be referred to as a limited belief, but we'll go into in more detail as we go along here. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Number 1, self-observation. You want to be able to take an objective look at your reactions and your assumptions to your everyday life. Because the key here is that you will find that you may have an assumption about yourself, but unless you are taking a critical look and really consciously being aware of your thoughts and how you react to scenarios, you may find that while you believe to be loving and tolerant and kind, you may find that you have some areas that need to be worked on, are less than ideal. And we all have these. We've all been programmed since birth to have assumptions and react to certain things in a certain way. We gather these programs and these assumptions from our parents and our mentors as we're growing up. Everybody has them. It's nothing to be ashamed about. It's nothing to criticize yourself over. It's just important to be able to take a look objectively at how you're reacting and what you're thinking and what you're assuming. So for the vast majority of people, when they're having trouble manifesting deliberately, this is usually the underlying cause. And some people refer to these as limiting beliefs. It's the same thing, pretty much. And to start, you have to be able to take an objective look at the self, your conscious self. Because Neville stressed that this rebirth, this discovery, can only take place through an uncritical observation of your current state. So to break it all down into little pieces for you guys, your reactions, thoughts, and assumptions, they define your current state of consciousness. If you want to be able to have this rebirth or to completely radically change your current self or your current state, you need to be able to take an objective look, an unbiased, non-critical look at yourself. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up, myself included. For years, I was trying to force what I perceived to be an outside force from happening, or to bring in something from the outside to me. This is backwards. Neville stressed the importance of self-observation first and foremost. It starts within, because everything starts within. Everything is created through your imagination and is refracted out in your 3D world. As within, so without. And this is also what a lot of people refer to as doing the inner work. Before you get into the practices, before you start scripting and visualizing and doing affirmations and all of the above, it's always key to really take a look at what you are thinking and how you are reacting in your day-to-day circumstances, so that way you can see your actual true state of consciousness, and not just what you may assume to be, but actually are. What really helped for me, and I'm going to give you guys just a tip here for you to try, I took maybe 15 or 20 minutes out of my day to sit and just take that step back and just observe my thoughts and observe what was going on in my mind. And every time a thought popped in my head, I didn't react, I didn't judge it, I didn't criticize it, I just noticed it. It was just an observation. Think of it akin to being a researcher, and you're observing an experiment. You're not gonna have any feelings or emotions attached one way or the other. You're just testing your hypothesis. You want to see what is actually going on underneath the hood here. So try to take 15 minutes if you can, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes, whatever small increment that you can get in your day, to just be able to sit down and observe your thoughts. This is so imperative to be able to start deliberately manifesting. You have to get into a state that lines up with your ability to be able to manifest. You can do this while meditating too. This is why meditation is such a great practice, because it trains you to just let your thoughts be and just observe and don't react. The point is to be able to really see your current state for what it is. So step 2 in these fundamentals is to define your aim, aka know what it is that you want to manifest. I know this may seem like a no-brainer, but you would be surprised at how many people I've spoken with, when asked this question, what do you want? They're not very sure how to respond. They may have a general idea, they may want to be wealthy or physically more healthy, etc., but in this case, you want to try to be as specific as possible with your aim. If you want a certain job, be specific with that job and title. If you want a specific person, etc. Try to really be clear in what it is that you want. And for me, what always helps is writing it down. I have lists of everything. I literally make lists all the time. And that's going to be a topic for a video in itself, is scripting and making lists, and how that is an extremely helpful tool when it comes to manifesting. But here you want to clearly define your aim, because what you're trying to do now that you've done the self-observation, you've come to an understanding of your current state, and when you want to deliberately change your outer reality, remember, it all starts from within. So you want to shift to your desired state. And in order to do that, you have to have a clear definition of what it is that you want. So the third step here is detachment. And I have made a video on the topic of detachment. If you'd like to check it out, and I strongly encourage you do so, you can check it out. I'll have a link up here for you guys. Also, I will link it in the description below. But there is a lot of misconception around this detachment, or dropping it, as it's sometimes referred to from other law of attraction, even manifesting coaches. But what Neville states here in these fundamentals is the term detachment, and this is really key here, so take note, please. Detachment is separating yourself from your old self or state of being. So that which you no longer want to be, you have to detach from that self. This isn't dropping your desire. This isn't detaching from whatever it is that you want. That's actually backwards. You want to detach from what it is that no longer serves you. So your old assumptions, your old beliefs, your old reactions that brought about the state that you found less than desirable, you want to detach from that. And you do that by placing your focus on your new aim and seeing and living in that aim or that desire in that end. You want the end goal in mind. You want that end desire, and you want to be thinking and living from that state of being. So I won't go into it as much detail as the detachment video. So if you want more information, you can check it out. I strongly recommend, because this was a huge hang-up for me, and this is a huge hang-up I found to be for a lot of other people. And it's a lot of stuff swirling around out there, a lot of information that can be very misleading. But what Neville meant by detachment was you want to get yourself away from that old state, because again, and I'm going to stress this until I'm blue in the face, it all starts from within. You are not separate from your outside reality. It is all in your awareness, your conscious awareness. That is what creates. So in order to deliberately get what you want, you must shift and detach away from that old self that no longer serves you. So to recap these three fundamentals, and what I like to refer to as the precursor to get yourself in a state to manifest, we have self-observation, or carefully and non-critically observing yourself and how you react and your thoughts and assumptions, defining your aim, or defining what it is that you want or the state that you would like to shift to. And then we have detachment, separating yourself from your old state. And you detach by no longer focusing on your old self. You want to drop the notions that kept you in that old state of being. So your old reactions, your old beliefs, your old assumptions, you need to throw those to the wayside, and you need to focus solely from the desired state, what you want, where you want to be. That is your aim, and that is now where you are going to live. You are going to live in that aim or that desire, because your imagination precedes your 3D reality. What you imagine will show up in your world. Anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it informative. And of course, we'll go into a lot more subjects in more detail. I just really wanted to hammer out these fundamentals. But if you enjoyed this video, if you found it educational and helpful, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit subscribe and hit that bell icon so you are notified anytime I put out new content. And if you're interested in checking out some of my other resources, I'm going to link my coaching site, my blog, and my Facebook groups, my social links down in the description box below. I also always link Neville's lectures and ebooks. They are free to download, and I strongly encourage everybody to read Neville's work if you haven't before, because this is truly the way to change your life. And if you have any questions for me, go ahead and leave me a comment. And if you have anything that you want me to go over in future videos, just give me a shout below. I am more than happy to answer anything that you guys desire to know about. So yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. And until next time, happy manifesting.